Good day, everybody. I hope that you are well and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 1 English lesson on subject verb agreement. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English language arts, grade 1. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of subject verb agreement. All right. So so once we get to subject verb agreement, that is going to be our basically our chapter for today, grade 1 English language arts. All right. So today under the chapter of subject verb agreement, we are only going to be focusing on two of our lessons, which is going to be one or more than one, as well as to complete the sentence with the verb, with the best verb. All right. So the chapter is subject verb agreement. We said our subject is English, which is language arts, grade 1. And we will be focusing on only two lessons for today, right? And that is going to be one or more than, as well as complete the sentence with the base verb. All right. All right. So when it comes to subject verb agreement, right? Like we said, that the first lesson is where we're asking ourselves one or more than one, right? That is almost like a question that you're asking yourself. So when it comes to subject, right, usually a subject is either a person or thing that is doing an action. The verb is the action that is being done. So basically, the subject as well as the verb, they need to be in agreement, right? And when we say that the verb and the subject needs to be in agreement, and then we mean in the sense of within a sentence, right? Remember, we said a sentence starts with a capital letter and it ends with an end mark, right? So when it comes to some of the sentences are about either one person, it can be about one animal, one place, or one thing, right? And within those sentences where we are either talking about one animal, one person, one place, or one thing, right? We need to add is to our verb, right? So we add an is to our verb. So which means that if we talk about one person doing something, one animal doing something, one place, one thing doing something, right? Then, once we want to say what the person, animal, thing, or place did, and then we need to add an is to our verb, right? For example, Kate, right? Kate is one person, right? So Kate walks the dog. So we don't say Kate walk the dog, Kate walking the dog. We say Kate walks the dog with an S. And as you can see, that verb walks ends with an S, right? Because it tells us what Kate is doing. And that refers to one person doing the action. What is Kate doing? Kate walks the dog, right? Then if we want to show that within a sentence that there are either more than one person, animal, place, or thing. So if there's more than one person, more than one animal, more than one place, or more than one thing, then in those sentences, right, where there's more than one person, animal, place, or thing, it's like two or more, then that verb within that sentence, right, we do not add an is. So the verb will not have an is at the end of that verb, right? For example, Ron and Mike. So we can either say Ron and Mike, or we can say the children, or we can say they, we can say the animals, if you're referring to more than one, right? Ron and Mike make. You can see no S at the end of make dinner. So we don't say Ron and Mike makes dinner. We say Ron and Mike make dinner. If Ron were to make dinner alone, right? If it was only Ron that made dinner, then we can say Ron makes dinner. But since it is Ron and Mike, we say Ron and Mike make dinner, right? So that is when we say that our subject as well as our verb, they need to agree with one another, and they need to agree with one another in the manner of having, you need to know if we are talking about one person, if we're talking about one person, one animal, one place, or one thing, right? Then our verb needs to end with an S. But if we are talking about more than one person, animal, place, or thing that is doing an action, then our verb, our action, will not have an S at the end. All right. All right. So now if we look at an example, if we look at the example, you need to either answer the question, is it one or is it more than one? right? It says, is this one or more than one? Look at the word Abby. Abby. Is Abby, are we referring to Abby as one person, or are we referring to Abby as more than one person? That is correct. Those are basically verbs, right? So now, when you, let's say, for example, you make mention of one person doing the action, right? Say if you, for example, make an example, if you wanna say that one person walk, right? Then you don't say one person walk, you say one person walks, right? One person talks, one person makes, right? So literally all of those verbs that you mentioned now, if one person, one animal, one place, or one thing does any one of those actions that you just wrote on there, right? Then we add an S to all of those verbs. But if, let's say, all six of you, let's say all of you, for example, are doing an action together, then we say all of you walk, you talk, you make, run, jump, right? Without the S at the end. So you're not going to add an S at the end of that verb. All right, but that is definitely correct. Literally all of those verbs that you made mention of. But like I say, if you're referring to one person doing all of those actions, then we just add the verb with, we add an S to all of those verbs like walks, talks, makes, runs, jumps, says, laughs, turns, shouts, screams, right? With an S at the end. But as soon as more than one person, more than one animal, more than one place, or more than one thing does the action, then we only say walk, talk, make, run, jump without the S. So well done. All right. So now we need to say, is this, are we referring to it being one or more than one? Look at Abby. Abby, right? Abby is a person. Is Abby one person, or are we referring to Abby as being more than one person? So, Abby, are we referring to Abby as being one person or more than one person? All right, yes. So, which means that if we look at Abby, right? Say, for example, I were to call each one of you by name, right? Then it means that I'm calling each one of you by name, one by name, right? I don't know all of your name, but your names, but then it means that you are only one person individually, right? So you're only one person individually. As soon as I make mention of all nine of you that are viewing currently or listening, then I say you are more than one, or there are more than one students that are listening, or that are viewing, or that have basically logged into the class, right? But Abby is only one person, so we're only referring to Abby as one. All right. If we were to say their shoes, look at the word, especially their shoes. Are we referring to one person's shoes, or are we referring to more than one person's shoes? So we're saying it's one person's shoes, or are we referring to it as more than one person's shoes? So do we say it's one, or do we say it is more than one? So you either need to say if we are referring to it as one or more than one. So we either need to say one, or we need to say more than one. So if we're saying their shoes, are we saying it is one person's shoes, or do we say it is more than one person's shoes? All right, so which means that if we were to refer to their shoes, right, then we would say it is more than one. Because if we say their shoes, then it means that we are talking about it's either two people that's sitting over there, it's their shoes that's over here, right? But it is more than one person that we are making mention of. More than one, because their shoes, right? We're not saying it's her shoes, his shoes. We're saying their shoes, which means that we are referring to it being more than one person's shoes, right? The girls. The girls. So the girls, if we say girls, right? Are we referring to one girl or more than one girl? So when we say the girls, if we say the girls are playing with the dolls, right? Are we saying it's one girl playing with the doll, or are we saying it's more than one girl playing with the doll? The girls. The girls. All right, so the girls, right? We can say it is more than one, right? Because we're not just talking about one girl, we're talking about more than one girl, right? So well done. All right, so now let's go to our test where we are going to say if it is one person, thing, animal, or place, or if it's more than one. Yes, more than one is correct. Well done. All right, so now we are going to say if the thing, the person, the animal, or place that we are going to be mentioning, right? If it's one or more than one. Peanuts. Peanuts. Are we saying it's one peanut or more than one? Peanuts. So peanuts, is that one peanut only that we're referring to or more than one peanuts? So is it option one or option two? peanuts. If we say, okay, here is one peanut, but more than one peanuts. So peanuts, is it one or more than one? Look at the S, right? The S after or at the end of a word will tell us if it is one or more than one. Once we have the S at the end of the word, then it shows plural because now we are referring to it as being more than one, right? So if we only said, for example, if we only said peanut, then it refers to it being one. But as soon as we add the S like this, right, then it is more than one, right? So we can say peanuts is more than one. It's more than one peanuts. All right. If we say it is his home, his, right? So instead of me saying, for example, official King D. I don't know what's your real name, but if we want to make mention of official King D's home, right, then we can say it is his home, right? So are we making mention of one person in option one or more than one person? His home. All right. So if we want to say his home, right, we're making mention of his. His refers to one boy, right? So which means that we can say it is one person that we are making mention of. Because if we say it is his home, his toys, his ball, his shoes, anything that belong to him, right? We say it is one, right? All right, so one. All right, look at the next one. If we say my cat, cat, is my cat, is it one cat or one person's cat? Or is it more than one person's cat? If I say it's my cat, am I making mention of one cat or more than one cat? So one cat or more than one. If we say cat, all right. So if I'm saying my cat, yes, then we are referring to one cat or one person's cat. So well done, guys. All right, now we're going on to the next one. We're going to complete the sentence with the best verb, right? And remember, we said that if we are talking about one person, one animal, one place, or one thing doing something, then our verb, right, the action will end in an S, right? So let's say, for example, if like since I am, let's say I'm so Nadine, right? So I will say, Miss Nadine, instead of saying Miss Nadine talk, we say Miss Nadine talks, right? Because I'm one person doing something. So we can then say Miss Nadine talks. Oopsie. And I add an S, right? We can say Naomika walks because it's one person doing something. So we add the S at the end of that verb, right? Um King D writes with an S, right? Not forgetting the S because it is one person doing the action. So then it means that our verb ends with an S, right? The verb ends with an S. But if more than one person is doing something, right, or are doing something, more than one person, more than one animal, place, or thing is doing an action, then we do not add an S to our verb, right? So look at our activity here. It says complete the sentence. Bees, honey. Bees, right? Bees are more than one, right? So bees are more than one. So do we say bees make honey or do we say bees mix honey? Yes, we can say is it flacomio runs because it's one person that is doing the action. Yes, that is correct. So now look at this one. There's bees. It's more than one bee, right? So bees, do we say bees make honey or do we say bees makes honey? Which one is correct? We need to choose between either make or mix. Bees, more than one bee. No, we need to complete the sentence. Then we need to, you see these two words that I put in brackets, right? Because now we are going to identify the verb, the best verb and the correct verb. So bees is more than one, right? So do we say that bees make honey or do we say bees mix honey? Which one is correct? Make honey or mix honey? So we need to choose between make and mix. All right, yes. And if we were to choose the correct one, then we would say bees make honey, and that is correct. And the reason why we say make now without the S, we say make because if more than one animal or more than one person, more than one thing does something, then we do not add an s to our verb. You see, we do not. So this one is not going to be correct. So make is correct, right? So well done. Make is correct. So we say bees make honey. All right, look at the next one. Here's a word bats. Do we say bats sleeps, or do we say bats sleep all day long? So do we say bats sleeps all day long, or bats sleep all day long? Which one is correct? Bats sleeps all day long, or bats sleep all day long? Yes, make is correct. So do we say bats sleep all day long, or bats sleeps all day long? All right. And yes, we will say that bats sleep all day long. Well done. Sleep is correct because we are referring to our subject being being more than one animal doing something, right? It's more than one bat. So we say bats sleep all day long. So well done. Sleep is correct. We don't say sleeps. So well done. All right, let's do the last one and then we are going to our test. The pool, one pool. So the pool, do we say the pool fill up fast on a hot day, or do we say the pool fills up fast on a hot day? Which one is correct? Do we say this pool fill up fast on a hot day, or do we say this pool fills up fast on a hot day? Which one is correct? Fill or fills? This pool, it refers to one pool. So one pool. All right, yes. And if we were to choose the correct word, then we will say fills, and fills is correct. Well done. Because remember, if we refer to one thing, right, then we add our s at the end of our verb. So well done, guys. Well done. Great job. All right, so now let's go to our test, right? Where we are going to complete the sentence with the best verb. All right, it says the hen. One hen. Do we say the hen sit on her eggs? Or do we say the hen sits on her eggs? So do we say the hen sit on her eggs or the hen sits on her eggs? Because we are referring to one hen. All right. And if we were to choose the correct one, then we would say the hen, because it's more than one, it's one hen, sorry, we can say sits on her egg. Well done, guys. Sits is correct. Yeah, the next one. It says Mr. Kim, one person. Mr. Kim is one person. So Mr. Kim, do we say Mr. Kim thanks us for our help? Or do we say Mr. Kim thank us for our help? So Mr. Kim thanks us for our help, or Mr. Kim thank us for our help. All right, so if we were to choose the correct one, then we'd say Mr. Kim, who is one person, thanks us for our help. And thanks is correct. Well done. Let's do the next one. It says bees. Bees, it's more than one bee. So bees make honey, which is option one, or bees makes honey, option two. It's present tense. So it's present tense. It's like happening now. If we had to say if we had to say it's in the past, right? Then we would say made. So make is in the present, made is in the past. So it is present tense. And if we were to choose the correct one, then yes, we would say bees, because it's more than one bee, make honey, right? So it's something that they are doing now, right? They're doing it in the present. If we had to say the bees doing something in the past, then we would say bees made honey. And if we were to say them doing something in the future, then we will say bees will make honey. So within the future tense, we just add the will in front of our verb. And make is correct. Great job, guys. All right, bats. Bats, it's more than one bat. So bats. Do we say bats sleeps all day long, option one? Or option two, bats sleep all day long. So bats sleeps all day long, or do we say bats sleep all day long? All right, and if we were to choose the correct one, then we would say bats because it's more than one bat. Yes, they sleep all day, and well done. Sleep is correct. So well done. Great job. All right, so before we end, let us quickly go to A plus classes.ca. We'll go to learning materials, reading, and then we're going to scroll right down. So before we end, we're going to listen to one audio book level one, right? And we are going to read Gifts from Mom. Gifts for Mom.
Gifts for Mom by Natalia Garcia Hernandez. Grandma and I made some gifts for Mom. We colored some pictures using my favorite color, crayons. Then Grandma helped me fold the picture into a fan. Mom is going to like it. When we were done coloring, we went outside to make some flowers for Mom. Grandma carefully opened the paint. We chose the color yellow. I wore an old shirt to keep paint off my clothes. Grandma showed me how to do it, and then I started painting the petals. Mom is going to like it. The gifts are ready. Grandma and I had so much fun, and now we are ready to give them to Mom. Surprise, Mom! Grandma and I made these gifts for you with love.
All right, so that is basically an audio book about gifts for mom. It's something that the little boy did with his grandma. All right, so whenever you want to go over and read all of these audiobooks that you see over here, you can go to a plus classes.ca. All right, so you can go to a plus classes.ca, and there you'll find it under learning material, right? All right, so now we have come to the end of our lesson on, oopsie, we've come to the end of our lesson on subject verb agreement, right? We said when it comes to subject verb agreement, if we are making mention of one person, one animal, one place, or one thing, then our verb needs to end in an S. And if we're referring to more than one person, more than one thing, more than one animal or place doing something, then our verb does not end with an S. We do not put an S at the end of our verb. All right, so this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade ones, for joining the class today. All the best in getting your report cards. And for those of you who already got your report cards, I'm really sure that you are extremely proud of yourselves. And for those who are yet to receive your report cards, I really hope for positive results only. Right? All right. So have a good day further. Till next time. Goodbye.